Ok, estamos con Andy Graham, músico norteamericano, eh, un gran exponente e investigador del didgeridoo, eh, un luthier, digimaker, eh, que desde hace muchos años está investigando y haciendo didgeridoos de distinto tipo. Yo conocí sus investigaciones, por supuesto, por YouTube, viendo el Didgeridoo App, maravilloso, el ARP Didgeridoo y una serie de inventos increíbles que siempre me fascinaron personalmente. Y bueno, hoy con esta nueva normalidad, por decirlo así, hemos logrado hablar con Andy e incluso hemos logrado que Andy toque en el Festival Didgeriduismo. Y acá está con nosotros Andy giving an interview. Hi, Andy. How are you?
Hello.
Thanks.
Hi.
Thanks.
Thank you for having me. This is great. Thank you for having me in the Didgeridoo Festival. Also, it was a lot of fun.
Great. Can you tell us about your didgeridoo career? How do you know didgeridoo and what are your feelings about didgeridoo?
Feelings about didgeridoo. Wow. It is an instrument that I love. I love to play, and it's kind of funny because I discovered it when I first saw it in 1994. I lived in Seattle, Washington, and I didn't like it very much. It didn't because I just heard somebody play it a little bit, and I didn't understand. And then an hour later, at the same festival, I saw a man named Stephen Kent. I don't know if you know who he is. He's a big
Yes, yes.
didgeridoo player here, and I saw him play in a band, and I didn't know what the sound was. I heard the like a synthesizer, like a percussion, and I looked and I didn't know what it was. And then I saw the man with the didgeridoo, and he talked about it, and I got very excited because I'm a percussionist. You know, drums are my world. So when I hear something played with rhythm, I get excited about that. And I saw him play with rhythm, you know, playing all the different rhythmic patterns, and I was very interested in how he did it. And later I discovered it was just a hollow tree branch. So for me, that was like, I don't get it. I don't understand how you make this sound with a stick. So that was really kind of just, it was just my mistake that I saw it and I was interested, but I didn't really think I wanted to play it. I just thought it was interesting. And then when my friend told me I could get a PVC pipe, plastic pipe,
Yes.
and practice, and I practiced a little bit. And I remember I was watching TV one night with friends with the pipe, and I made the sound, and it was like, oh my God. And I think at that point, you know, it becomes, you fall in love with it. You know, suddenly I understood it. So that was in '94, and it was just kind of it was really almost an accident that I discovered the instrument because I was really more of a drummer, percussionist. So that was my beginning. That was in 25 years
In,
ago.
in that moment, the way of play didgeridoo was different, no? David Hudson played in a very different way than La Pen, the Bronco La Pen.
Um,
What do you think about the evolution sound of didgeridoo?
with any instrument, for me, I always love to see people push it to the limit, you know, of where you can go. And for me, listening to Stephen Kent was exciting because it was percussion, and then I learned my own style kind of based on that. But I kind of wasn't paying attention for a while to the whole scene, the didgeridoo scene. I wasn't doing much for a few years, and then I saw Ondrej Smikal play, and
Yes.
that was like, I don't understand. That was like watching, you know, God play a didgeridoo. It was just like, does this man do that? So that was kind of like I discovered it all again. And I love it whenever I see people take something and push it to the extreme. And that's what I'm very excited to see more of now at the festival. I love Ondrej, um, what is her name? She's from France. Adele Blanchon.
Adele, sí.
I love her style, and a few other people I saw. I was just like so excited to see, and it made me very excited to practice again, because I've been playing it for 25 years, and sometimes I go without practicing for a long time. I just don't. You know how it is. You get stuck doing the same thing, and then you see
Yes.
somebody else, and suddenly, oh my God, I want to do that. So, yeah. So I'm very excited about where people are taking it, and I'm thrilled to see that how people are taking it to places I never thought were possible. So it's making me excited to practice again and to try things I haven't done before.
Yes, in 90s we know the sound of Jamiroquai, maybe the band Jamiroquai. Um, Maybe it's an Australian band. I don't know. Stephen Kent,
Yeah.
David Hudson, and then comes Ondrej Michael with that different sound. You know,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
it's amazing. His Didgeridoo Solo Uno, his work.
Yeah.
For me, it's a break point about the didgeridoo way of play. Um, so your way of play is percussion and didgeridoo. Uh,
Yes.
what are you looking for in this music?
Am I looking for? Well, for me, it's funny. I am an inventor. I work and I build a lot of things out of metal. I've done that for my job for years. So I've always, trying to find new ways to do things. And what happened with the drums and the didgeridoo together, this rack here, is it was something I made so I could play didgeridoo in a band at the time when I played drums. So it
Uh-huh.
was not meant to be played at the same time. I didn't think about that. I just wanted the didgeridoo here, play drums, and then once in a while play the didgeridoo and come back. And then the band broke up, and I just had this in my room. I'm like, what? So I started to try to play at the same time, just for fun. And it was really a wonderful accident, just like so many other. I got all these other didgeridoos I'll show you that were kind of the same idea. I just wanted to try. I have the kind of brain where I'm always trying to put things together that don't belong, or that haven't. So the drums and didgeridoo, playing them together, I never thought I would do it as a solo artist. That was really an accident. Same thing. I didn't think about it. And then I started to practice, and then it started to come together. So for me, it's just always about mixing sounds together. And to me, it's always about rhythm more than anything else. Everything I play it rhythmically. I don't really, I'm still learning notes for, other instruments. But so that's kind of what it is for me. It's always about mixing things up that haven't been and seeing what happens. And what I love about didgeridoo and any kind of percussion is that it goes so well together naturally. It's like you almost can't do it wrong. When you mix drums, percussion, didgeridoo, it always works somehow. It seems and that's what I really love about it. It's very open to experiment for me. There's not really a right or wrong way to mix it all together, and I love that.
Yes, it's like an ancient music, no?
Yeah, it
Uh,
could be. Yeah,
yes,
very much. It could be like ambient music. The same thing. There's no real like rules. Like it's not like when I do a piece of music for like a movie soundtrack, or if I want to try to do that kind of thing. It's just mixing up sounds. It's not like verse, chorus, verse. It's not like
uh-huh.
traditional song. It's just background, or it's emotional music. So you can do it any way you want, and that's where I really like to work.
That's a good word to didgeridoo, emotional, no?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's very. I never thought I would be moved by a horn instrument like that. When I saw Steven, I was kind of I couldn't stop listening to it, you know, for the first time, and I didn't think that way before because I hadn't heard it played like that. I only heard it played once before, and it was just quiet in the background, and I didn't really understand. But when I heard it loud, then I heard all the harmonics and all of the deeper tones, and that really, as you know, that's the stuff that puts you in a, I don't know, a different, like a trance space, headspace.
Yes, it's an unique sound. It's a different sound. I really don't listen that sound in any other instrument,
Yeah.
and that's fascinating. So, can we talk about your inventions,
Sure, sure.
your extremely curious and great, great test instruments?
No, thank you.
Uh, I
Yeah.
love your instrument. I see it in YouTube and in Facebook. I don't know, and say, wow, wow,
Yeah.
what a great imagination, no?
Ah,
Can we see some of your instrument, or
yeah.
can you talk about
Oh, sure. I can show
about it?
you a couple of them. The inventions are funny because it kind of the string didgeridoo, the one you saw in the video.
Uh-huh.
I don't have it here. It's in the case, but I have the other ones. But I that was just I was working in a shop, and they had a scrap bin with just stuff I can use for anything, and a big piece of bronze tubing, the curving. It was a handrail for something. It was a big scrap. So I made a didgeridoo out of it, and I later thought maybe I could put strings on it, you know, like electric, you know. And I just
Uh-huh.
I don't know why my brain is loco. I don't know things in my head, and I don't know why. But so that one came about through that idea, and then later I have. You ever see a Dig box before? It's the smaller folded one of these.
Yes.
Yeah, so I have one of these I got at a music store, and I thought, wouldn't it be fun to put strings on that also? So I made one out of metal, and this is a crazy one. This is I call it dig bass. It's a bass guitar that's also a didgeridoo. So it's
Can you
very,
play a little bit?
yeah. This it's not
That
tuned right, but I can let me plug it in. Hold on.
okay.
This. This I would plug it in. I have it hooked up to.
Wow.
It's not tuned right, but
Uh-huh.
anyways, it has a. I gotta practice more. I need to practice more, and it has a stand, and I have to tune it. I haven't played it for a while, but that's the dig bass I call it.
That digibase have the effect and flanger, no?
Yeah, that one's like a bass guitar didgeridoo. The didgeridoo doesn't sound really good. If it's never sounded as good as I want it to, but I can always, you know, in a studio, fake it a little bit. So that's
And the inner part, the body of the didgeridoo, how is what's different between metal and wood and PVC
you know, I found that
for you, no?
well, for me, metal always gives it kind of a brighter sound, like
Mm-hmm.
more, I don't know how to say it. It's more not as warm sounding. It's more staccato, very, you know. So it can be
Mm-hmm.
really nice for that, but I think wood sounds a little bit better, I think.
Yes.
plastic PVC sounds okay. It just always sounds like a tube. You know, it has the same, but it's a wonderful way to practice, and it's the way I learned how to play. So I love telling people to play plastic, you know, pipe because it doesn't cost anything. But yeah, that is. I find that it really depends on the instrument too. It's funny. I have played didgeridoo that was cost. I think it was almost $1,000. I mean, it wasn't mine. It was very expensive, and I didn't like the sound that much for me. It was kind of flat. And then I played a plastic PVC one that was in a. It was made by Remo or something, and I thought it sounded better. So I think it's just weird. And then other times, a really nice one sounds better. So I don't really know what the formula is to making one sound good, because it really, I think, depends on the player a lot. I've played some that just sound amazing that I don't know why, and then another one made by the same person doesn't sound as good.
Maybe the inner surface have to be hard
Yeah.
with a epoxy, or if you
Another
have
way,
only good, see?
I think that helps. I've done that with my instruments. Whenever I get one that I usually put something inside of it because I found it just makes it a little bit. For me, I do a lot of rhythmic playing, so I really like to hear all of the articulations. You know, like for me, being able to get the. That stuff, if it has something epoxy inside of it, I find I can do that better. Usually, it comes out a little more clear
Yes,
for me.
clear. See,
Yeah.
clear with harmonics clear. Maybe the PVC have that kind of sound.
Yeah. The
The
PVC is
the
hard.
deeper sound is not so good,
Yeah.
but the harmonics are very, very brilliant.
Yeah, it's so interesting too because I have I think 3 didgeridoos in the key of E
Uh-huh.
and in the same octave, and they all sound different. Like
Yes.
one of them, if I do the bark, boop, it's really clear, and in the
Uh-huh.
other one, it makes it quiet, even though they're the same octave, same material, kind of. So it's really interesting how much difference there is in the different instruments, even in the same key, and even by the same player. So I always find it fascinating. I think it's always exciting to play a new instrument too, because it's always going to be different. You know,
Yes.
whenever I play it, it's going to be a whole unique sound. So that's always exciting, you know, to go into a store where they have a bunch of them, and sometimes you'll find one that's just, you know how it is, it's just perfect. And other times they don't sound good. So
There is no the two didgeridoo who have the same sound.
yeah, yeah. It's a difficult instrument to buy online because for me, because I find I have to play it before I know if I want it. Like it's hard
Uh-huh.
for me to, you know, I bought them before and from somebody without playing it, and I got it, and it one of them sounded really good, and the other one was kind of not that much, but it was because of me. You know, it's like the player is very individual to the instrument, so it's I have to play it before I can really, you know, buy one. I have to be able to see if it's going to be right for me. I think that's probably that is how it is with most instruments, but didgeridoo seems to be very personal in that way to me.
Yes, yes, yes. For me too. Uh, Jitaki didgeridoos, Australian didgeridoo, are very particular too. Um, they have their own way to make didgeridoo, and Australian Aboriginal
Yeah.
way. The I don't know, Andrea Land or Andrea Ferroni didgeridoos, European didgeridoos are
Yeah.
more specific, maybe.
Yeah.
So it's a stick for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Basically, it's a stick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can we see your instrument, your
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
bass didgeridoo, your harp didgeridoo?
Yeah, the harp one is in a case. I had to move it out, so I couldn't hook it up. It was too hard
Okay.
to do for this. But I have some other ones. I want to show you this. Look, this is let me show you how this works. So this is not a didgeridoo, but this is the instrument that I build, and I'm showing it to you because I decided to make a didgeridoo version. This is a
Ajá.
percussion instrument. So very, very like percussion funk kind of thing. So what I did was I decided to take this idea, and I only made one of these. This is a didgeridoo. It's like a
Wow.
folded, yeah, it's like a folded didgeridoo, a lot like the Digbox. And
Ajá.
what I did was I put the metal band on the top, and so this one, the band, and then the didgeridoo is in the same key. So the didgeridoo is in the same key, so I can play like this.
Wow.
Kind of the same idea. It's kind of like a single string bass
Ajá.
with the didgeridoo, and it's a really low dig. I think it's in whoops, feeding back. I think it's in like B. It's really low. So
Yes, maybe
yeah, it's kind
B
of a
or
neat
C.
little.
Sí.
Yeah, it's like a neat little instrument. I haven't played it in a long time. I pulled it out for this, and I'm gonna make a video with it again pretty soon. But yeah, it's just a folded. This is all aluminum too. It took a
Ah,
lot. It was
no.
very hard to make. It only made one for that reason. But what's nice about these kind of things, you can add. You could run effects through it. Or whatever you want. It's when you add a pickup, you can add electronics to it, so that always gives you more sound. But the didgeridoo is just acoustic on all of these instruments, so it's very straightforward. So that
Ah,
was this is another strange one. So that was kind of like a didgeridoo version of the slapstick kind of thing, and I have to learn to do more with it still. I haven't done a whole lot of different songs
that
with it.
is only one model, or you sell it?
This one, I don't know how to make it uh, without it being super expensive because it was so hard to make. But I'm gonna try to simplify it a little bit and make it
Uh-huh.
into something maybe because I've had people ask about it before, just like the harp, the string didge. It was like something I made for me, so I didn't even think about it at the time. And to make another one would be so hard to make. I'd have to make find a simpler way to do it. But I might figure out a way to do that at some point. But I wanted to show you this one too. This is the Dig box that I did not make.
Yes.
I did not make this one, but what I did was I modified it with violin strings.
Wow.
So it's like a bowed instrument. Let me show you this. This one. This one. I play with a violin bow here, which I broke this morning. So I put a clamp on the end of the bow. It's really
Wow.
but it works. I'll show you. It has to, it needs some tuning still, and the bow doesn't work that well because I broke it. But that's kind of a, I don't know, I call it a fiddle redo because it's like a fiddle and a didgeridoo together. So that
Uh-huh.
was one that,
But that sounds very, very good. That maybe don't need tuning.
uh, yeah, I still have to figure out some things with it. There's a couple pickup issues with it, but I like the idea of using a bow on a didgeridoo. That was just kind of a fun idea. Um, but yeah, the bow broke this morning, so I can't get a good sound out of it. It kind of squeaks. But so that's another one. That was really the other one I have. I also made. I also played with other ones with a pipe with a single string on it. They were not as exciting as the the multiple string, but yeah, that's kind of, I don't know why I kind of got into putting strings on didgeridoos. It was just kind of a interesting fascination, and then it just kind of built from there. So I have about 4 or 5 different
And
instruments.
what it's gonna happen with sound with string in didgeridoo, no? In the whole of didgeridoo, did you say, or just like an guitar, a didgeridoo guitar?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like it's two separate instruments just on top of each other.
Hmm.
I don't know if they really affect each other. I wanted to make, my original idea was to make a didgeridoo with strings that were, how do they say it, sympathetic strings. So you,
Hmm.
like in Indian music, they have those strings that start to vibrate by themselves. And
Uh-huh.
I wanted to make something like that originally, but it just didn't work. I couldn't get the strings to work on their own. So I just ended up putting them on there like a separate instrument, and I play it, kind of in. It's completely separate from the didgeridoo. They just happen to be in the same. Uh,
Uh, Andy, and you've been working in any project like
oh, I think I lost you.
a movie or
Oh,
I
sorry,
don't know
it broke
soundtrack.
up for a second. Are you okay? I think I got you back. Okay, there you are.
Yes, are you been working in a soundtrack or any movie or someone
Yeah,
call you any time for
yeah.
do something with your music?
I want to do more of that. I have a friend who does it professionally, and he has helped me submit some music to the places in Hollywood for uh, for that purpose. I haven't got any paid yet, but I have sent, I created a whole bunch of music just for that purpose, and I gave it to them. So that is an area I want to go because my stuff is so unusual and strange, and he told me that's a good thing for soundtracks because they like to find music that's original. So
Yes.
yeah, so I haven't got paid to do it yet, but I got my music out there, and I'm going to be doing more of it. It just takes a while for it to. He told me it takes a while for it after you submit to kind of going through their system, so they can. It's in a database right now.
Yeah,
So
that will be happen. You have a unique word.
yeah, yeah.
It's your research are very very nice, very good, and
Oh, cool.
you are a complete artist. You
Oh, thank
deserve it.
you. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's sometimes sometimes I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. You know how you get to where it gets kind of like, what am I doing? I keep doing it though, and I keep practicing is the hardest thing for me. I'm learning to practice every day now, and I haven't done that. There are times when I've gone for 3 or 4 months without playing a didgeridoo at all, and it just, I don't know why. This is in the past more. I get distracted. I'm doing other projects, but I'm learning to sit down with it every day for at least 5 minutes, or if I can. And it's kind of a funny thing. I talk to other musicians that have the same problem, where it's like just the discipline of practicing is sometimes very hard to do, and then you don't get any better because you don't practice. So yeah, it's an ongoing thing, but yeah.
Yes,
I'm rediscovering it.
sometimes we need a reason to play, and we don't get it easily, no?
Yeah, yeah, it's true. I find it's interesting. I know musicians that if they are feeling depressed or down, they go practice.
Yes.
And for me, I'm the opposite. If I'm not feeling in a good mood, I can't practice. I can't bring myself to do it. So it's interesting. If I'm going through a period where I'm not very happy, whatever things are going on, I find that I don't practice as much. And my friend is telling me that I can change that if I just force myself to, even if I don't want to. And then once I start, you kind of discover it again. But yeah, it's a constant discipline for me to just keep at it. But I have been doing it so far. Haven't given up. So I'm happy for that. Yeah, it's nice.
Andy, and where are you now? From where we're talking?
Where am I? What do you mean? Where?
Your home. Where is your home?
Oh,
Your
I'm up in
place. Your
Santa Rosa, California. So I'm about an hour north of San Francisco, and I'm in my garage. I have a garage I turned to a studio for music, so and making films and whatever else, what other crazy stuff I want to do.
and how is your town? How is your I don't know quotidianic life?
The,
Yeah.
the town itself, well, it's very. I really like it here. It's really nice. The weather's really good up here. It's away from the fog, and San Francisco gets really foggy, and up here it's very clear most of the time. It's really good weather. It's so hard now because everything is so strange with the COVID. I don't know. Everything doesn't feel right, but I do love the town when everything's open and we can do things. I like this area. I don't know if I'll stay here forever. I want to move around a little bit later, but for right now, I really like it here. But it's a nice town, about 100,000 people, I think, 120. It's not too big, but it has everything. You can drive from one side to the other in 5 minutes, but it's not too small. I really like it up here. And there's a lot of other towns around. And if I need to go down to San Francisco, it's only an hour away, which is nice. So if there's music going on or something big happening, I can always just jump in the car and go. So it's a nice place, I think, to be.
Yes, it's a nice place to live.
Yeah,
Just,
and I like the weather. Weather's important. I lived north up in Seattle when I
uh-huh.
discovered the didgeridoo in '95, and it was the only thing about Seattle that I liked, because other than that, it was it rains all the time. Very depressing. It's just always gray out and very little sun, and that was really hard for me. I think didgeridoo was the reason I moved there, probably, because it's the only thing I brought back with me. But yeah, but so the weather changes when you go north of here and south. So it's a nice medium in between Los Angeles and Seattle.
Great. Well, you're being one of the artists of the Didgeriduismo Fest.
Mm.
Um, how was your participation in this festival? How do you feel about the festival? No, the people
Yeah.
who meet there. No.
Oh, it was. I was very honored that you invited me to play, because I'm pretty new to doing music online, because I just got myself set up. So when you invited, it was felt really good, and then to be on the same in the same bill with some of my favorite players. It was very exciting. So it was a very wonderful experience. I was just hoping my Wi-Fi would stay going, and it did for the whole time. And I got to spend the day watching a bunch of different people. A lot of them I never heard of, so it was really great to feel like I'm part of that community, because I've been doing it for so long, but I also feel like I've been not in touch with a lot of players, so I have been feeling like I've been doing it by myself. So it's kind of like seeing all these people and seeing how many people are really taking the instrument to new places and doing fun things. It just made me feel like I was part of it, and that was really I really love that about it. So I thank you for letting me be part of it. You know, it was quite nice to be able to do.
Wow, no, thank you. We
Yeah.
know who are you. And we appreciate so much your assistance.
Oh, no, no, thank you. It was really nice to practice and come up with some new material. The only thing I do sometimes is I sometimes feel like I play too fast, you know, when I do something, so I get a little nervous. So it was nice to play and kind of relax into it and, you know, just come up with some new stuff. And I would love to do it again. Maybe do some of this and play some of the other instruments too sometime. It'd be
Yes,
nice to practice.
it will be another times, another propose to play, obviously.
Yeah. No,
Obviously.
that'd be great. I'm getting better at using Zoom and getting the Wi-Fi workings and practicing. So it'll all work good next time. You know, I'm working on new
For all
material.
of us, it was a very exciting experience and very nice. We meet many musicians we admire. So many of that people who you say, Andre, I don't know, Adele, Lies, uh, you,
Yeah.
Andy. That was very very nice and really really motivation to play and play and play.
Yeah, yeah. It's exciting. These internet festivals are so great. You get to play with people all over the world, and you don't have to travel. You don't have to, you know, take the long distance. It's really, it's a really great technology to be able to do this, and I'm excited about it. You know, I mean, you know, I don't know, it just feels really good, and it feels like I'm becoming more in touch with all of the other players. You know, I've been, like I said, I've been doing this for so long, but I also kind of forget how many people are doing it, and it's nice to connect, you know, in that way, in a very live way, and hear what everybody's doing. You know, it makes me want to practice and come up with new ideas.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So to say goodbye, Andy, what comes with Andy's music? Uh, what's next
Oh
with
boy,
your
what's
music?
next? What is next? Oh boy, I don't know. Right now, I'm just I'm kind of hanging low because of the coronavirus. I haven't been doing a lot much else, but I'm really just practicing. I think I'm going to wow, just kind of work on some new material, and I have a couple ideas for other strange instruments that I might try to build at some point. But
Yes,
I
please.
wanted what I really want to come up with is a way for people to convert their didgeridoos over to strings, like a wooden one, like a maybe like a kit you can clamp on something. As an idea, because people ask me a lot about selling a string didgeridoo, and maybe I can make a way for them to put strings on their didgeridoo instead. You know, so that's kind of an idea I have. I've been working on, but other than that, I'm just going to keep. I'm motivated to do more videos. I'm going to do much more didgeridoo videos, just short ones to post on Facebook with any new patterns I come up with, or polyrhythm, or any other thing I come up with. I'm going to be doing more of that than I have in the past. So just kind of motivating me to be part of it more. And then hopefully you'll hear my stuff on a movie someday. If that happens, I'll let everybody know some of my other stuff that's it's got didgeridoo and other strange sounds in it. But yeah, I'm just keeping. I don't know. Just very excited about all of the endless possibilities with this instrument and with you know, getting the music out there into different venues. You know.
Yes, yes. We need Andy's research. We need Andy's music.
Ah,
So we
well,
are waiting.
okay. Well, I appreciate it. I'll keep writing more for sure, and I'll let you know. Yeah. Yeah.
So Andy, thanks for being in this interview. Gracias por estar en estas entrevistas de Didgeriduismo, de post festival. Eh, y esperamos que poder hablar contigo, seguir haciendo notas, seguir comunicados y seguir invitándote a distintos eventos que realicemos. y por supuesto siempre estar en contacto, conversando, charlando y creando ahí esta amistad, this friendship, this music. So, send you a big hug and thanks.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me here. And then anytime you want to do any other music or festivals or interviews, let me know. I'm around, so thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Andy.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to
Bye.
you later. Okay. Bye-bye.
So, uh,